Hello and welcome to a special edition of Insane in the Membrane / never mind the age gap. We've decided to do a mashup this time.
Mash it up.
Mash it up because there's a lot happening.
We've been quite busy.
We're very busy. I start to say we have, but you have.
Well, do you want to introduce me to your Insane in the Membrane fans?
Oh, do you know what? I was so organised this morning. I got up and I got everything ready and I was all ready to go and I've made it everything look nice. And then it's just fallen apart around my ears. Just that last bit of trying to get the sound working.
That's just your life.
It is my life. I always think I've got myself organised just to a point, and then if someone goes, yeah, well, what about this bit?
Or what about telling producer Paul some vital information?
No.
Let's not do that. I love that I think you must have ADHD. I know you hate it. I know you hate it.
I just don't want to be one of those wankers.
Angela Barnes tells Rich that he has ADHD. And I have to agree with that because you have conversations in your head and then go, oh, God, I told you what? And then, because that's such a good impression.
Is that what I sound like?
And then...
Is that what I sound like to you? Whatever.
And then he has whole conversations and then it doesn't compute. Maybe if I was a mind reader, it'd be fine.
Because producer Paul and I because producer Paul's been busy as well.
Yeah.
So we haven't really had a chance to link up. Everyone's busy. Everything's going on. And then I was arranging guests for today.
Yeah.
And then I was just, all right, okay. So the guest we've got, I'm going to move that along to later on today.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Kate and I will just have a chat. And then I just thought everybody was in the loop because I said to producer Paul, oh, Kate and I will do 11.
But we also do another podcast called Never Mind the Age Gap, which is different. So Today, I am your guest on Insane in the Membrane.
Yeah.
And am I your first double act?
This is the first time in a long time where I've never. Oh, yeah. So this is the first time.
Oh my God.
Since Mike Fenton Stevens, we've done one in person.
Yeah.
We used to do them in person when we started, and producer Paul used to be able to get a room at Comedy Central.
Oh, cool!
Because that's his proper job. And we were not saying this isn't his proper job. Oh God, I'm making it worse. So I used to go meet him at Comedy Central, and we used to get people to come down there, and so we would do it in person.
Nice.
So I like doing it in person. I like doing it via Zoom, but I think it's better.
It's nice.
Yeah.
And fancy seeing you here in our house.
This is us in our little shoebox of a flat.
And Rich put up, if you're watching this on YouTube, Rich put up this picture behind us by our lovely friends 76 and Dovesy.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. And it was a wedding present, but it's wonky. So ignore that.
I just like to point out that I said when it went up, does that look wonky?
And I said no. I just wanted it up. So are you going to introduce who I am?
So this is the lovely Kate McGann, who's my lovely wife. And we do another podcast called Never Mind the Age Gap. And we thought this would be a nice way to kind of like mash the two together. Because we haven't had a chance to do Never Mind the Age Gap for a bit.
No, because I've been very poorly.
You've not been well.
Well, so apparently anyone who doesn't listen to Never Mind the Age Gap might not know. Do you mention that I'm with child?
I've probably mentioned it somewhere.
Okay. I am currently 9 months pregnant.
Literally tomorrow.
Tomorrow he's coming out.
Oh no, when this comes out. Oh no, it is coming out. So
yeah.
This will be, if you're listening to this later on, tomorrow after today, which is when tomorrow happens.
The sun will come out
tomorrow. You're really pleased with yourself.
I'm so pleased with myself. It's the only time that you can sing that song is when you're having a C-section.
Yeah.
I'm having C-section, and anyone that says too posh to push drives me potty.
Really?
It's horrible. It's a horrible thing to say to someone. All births are valid. Right. So I'm having a C-section. It's an elective C-section, which means I've chosen the time and the date. Well, they've given me the time and the date. my due date's actually next week, but they take him out a week before. And yeah, it should be very gentle and calm. And
Is that so? Do they do it like a week earlier so
so you don't go into
so that
labour?
you don't go into labour?
Yeah. Although I have a good friend of mine who is due tomorrow, and she went into labour a week early. So you don't know. I mean, when they give you your due date, it's so vague. It could be anything. So they just sort of take baby out on the 39th week. You're full term at 40 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to ask you.
Yes.
And this is for the benefit of the viewers, listeners, because I don't know. This is the thing about what I love about Insane the Membrane is that, and I've said this many times on here before, is that it's a space for people, for me to ask questions of people that people listening might be uncomfortable asking. So sometimes I get it wrong. It's a bit clunky. Like I've said before, I'm not Paxman. I'm not trained at this. I like talking to people. I'm good at talking to people.
You're more Pac-Man.
I'm more Pac-Man than Paxman. I love ghosts. Why is it can't get enough? That's why I'm up all night eating ghosts. You don't eat the ghost, do you?
No,
It's the other way around. The ghosts eat you.
Oh God, you fucked that up. It was really good analogy, but yeah, you really fucked it up.
Ruined it. But
apples. So
this is a chance for us to talk about with someone who is pregnant what it actually feels like to be pregnant, because I'll never know. I felt pregnant sometimes
when you've had too much bread.
Far too much bread. I love bread, but this has been a really. I've had children before, but because I was a kid myself, I don't think I really understood what was happening, or I didn't have the courage to ask what was going on with Lisa.
Because it was a different time. It was like 30 years ago.
It was 1992. So
now I think we've got so much more information. We've got apps. I've got apps that tell me how big he is and what exactly is going on. I think we have so much more information. And I think because it was 30 years ago when you had Keanu, and I feel that you have baby books and stuff, but maybe as you were very young.
I was, yeah.
So you probably didn't want to ask about lady things.
Didn't know to ask. We weren't really told about them, or
if probably we were knackered.
What?
She was probably knackered the whole time.
Do you remember it being quite fraught?
Yeah, well, it would be.
Yeah,
a lot.
But I think that's what's amazed me though is that a few times when you've gone, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I'm fat. I'm this. And I have to keep saying to you, yeah, you're pregnant.
You do have to remind me.
You've got a lot going on. Or you were worried that you were like, oh, I've not done anything today. I've just sat here. I'm like, you've just built a spine.
I've just built a spine.
What does it feel like to have a person in your body?
Well, it feels like I've had too much bread. It's quite bizarre. Sometimes I forget that I'm pregnant, so I go to jump up off of if I'm laying down in bed and then I get up in the middle of the night. Sometimes I forget that I'm pregnant and I leap out, and then I'm like, oh no, can't leap. No leaping. No lords are leaping. No. I can't do that. And you're sort of your center of gravity moves because your actual spine curves.
Is it?
Yeah. So because you're sort of supporting a bump.
Right.
So your spine goes like that, and your center of gravity moves, and so moving around, there is something that's moving at a different, way to you.
Yeah.
So you're very aware of it, and sometimes I'll be watching TV. And I'll get a big old boot. And I'm like, oh, God, he's practicing his roundhouse kick. So, yeah, he's sometimes at night, I feel like I've got Michael Flatley in there. Yeah.
Nice.
It's a lot.
I guess
it's just very tiring.
I think that's it.
Very knackered all the time.
We don't realise that. I mean, how much did they... So the last scan I was at,
36 weeks.
36 weeks. And he was... £6.
£6.09, yeah.
So nearly £7.
How they can tell is amazing. So how they sort of measure him and check that everything's all right. And they said, yeah, he's about £6.9. I was like, that's quite good for where we are. He's still got some cooking to do, but I mean, it's amazing. Like I've got friends that have had premature babies and who've been born at £3, like really tiny, tiny babies, and they've survived, and now they're like proper toddlers running around and causing havoc. So, you know, it's amazing what they can do with premature babies. It's unbelievable. But yeah, I think he's going to be hefty, like his dad.
Hey.
Chunky.
As long as he's tall like the other lads.
Yeah, I mean, your boys are what, 6'2"?
I think they're 6'1" and 6'2".
6'1". Yeah, I mean it's
not bad going.
It's not bad going, judging that you're a teeny tiny little man.
But I've got my brain doesn't know that I'm short.
No.
I don't realise I'm short. I was stood next to Bobby Mayer the other day. You know, Bobby Mayer, if anyone remembers, was he did our first live in St. Membrane down in Southend a couple of years ago. A lovely fella. I love Bobby. But I was stood next to him the other day, and he's shot up. And I'm like,
he hasn't had a growth spurt.
I'm like, how have you done that? Like, and even he said, he was like, I don't remember you being that short. I'm like, what has gone on? And I think, and he said he used to stoop. So every time I saw him, he was stooping.
Right.
And now he's kind of like shoulders back. And so I would say this now, and I said this to my eldest son. I remember being at school when he was at school, and he came back, and I saw that he was stooping because he had a growth spurt.
Yeah.
And he felt it was a bit ashamed of his size, and I was like, absolutely not. Shoulders back, mate.
Yeah. Shoulders
back, embrace it. So I've said, and because that's what I love about you. I love that you're tall. I don't realise that I'm short until I stand next to tall people. And I would say this to people listening and watching: if you're tall, embrace it. Especially women. I've noticed that women tend to a lot of women kind of do that.
I mean, it's funny. My brother's 6'5", so he's a tall chap.
He is.
And you know, at school he was. Well, I mean, there were big lads at school. They were rugby lads.
Yeah.
You know, they were all like very strapping. And I think Ben was sort of very aware of his height at school. I had a growth spurt quite late on.
Right.
So I was sort of short. I was the same height as everyone for the whole of my school career, like years.
Yeah.
And then when I was about 15 or 16, I suddenly was like head and shoulders taller than everyone else. So I'm 5'10" and a half.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 5'10" and a bit.
Yeah. That's what, because on
you
stage,
round it up to 5'11", but I'm not 5'11".
You're taller than 5'10". You're more 5'11" than you are 5'10".
No. Well, it depends what shoes I'm wearing.
Cowboy boots, 6 foot.
Yeah, I do like my cowboy boots.
And what amazing
rootin' tootin' boots.
Yeah. What I find amazing is that people, you see, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have small man syndrome. So
because you got a big head.
I have the head of a 6'4" person.
That's why I'm having a cesarean.
This big old melon coming pushing out your tiny little mouse's hole.
God, that's
like a mouse's ear.
Shall I tell her why I'm having a cesarean?
You can do.
Yeah. So when I was 16, I had my appendix ruptured, and I was really poorly, and I basically was left on A&E. I was misdiagnosed 3 times. And I was sent home by GP saying, no, you've just got a stomach bug. No, you're fine. No, you're fine. So I had appendicitis for quite some time.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and I was really ill. And they put me in A&E, and I just gave me loads and loads of morphine. And then about 2 o'clock in the morning, they were like, oh, this person's appendix is about to burst. Let's whip you in. So it was all very fraught and frantic. And it was just not a nice experience, basically. And I was very poorly and was in hospital for about 10 days, maybe a bit longer, maybe 2 weeks. And I was really, really ill. And I remember coming out of the anaesthetic and saying to my mum, do I have a tube? And my mum went, no. But then she sort of fibbed a little bit because I had lots of tubes.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I looked like Yeah.
Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Is there loads of tubes in Hellraiser?
No, that's nails. Are you
No, one of
thinking-
them had tubes.
Are you thinking of
One of them had tubes.
No, what's that film? What was a Predator? That's what I look like. Predator. So yeah, I was really ill, and then 2 years later I was doing a drama degree, and obviously there's a lot of movement involved, being a tree and such like.
Yeah. Yes,
Important.
ending.
Yes, ending. I was doing sort of physical theatre and stuff. And I was still in loads of pain with it. And I went and had another operation. So I had to have it all sort of redone. My scar was really horrible and angry. Right. And I had like keloid scarring, and it was just awful. And then I had it resurfaced, they call it. So I've got a nice big scar on my tum, and I thought, well, what's another one down there? I know it's a bit lower, but then I can make up all sorts of lies and say I was attacked by a shark.
Yes.
I can connect them.
Got what, in Worthing?
Yeah, in Worthing. Sunny Worthing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I basically don't want that same experience of it being like panicky and like rushing.
Yeah.
And, I think
is that what it is? So
can be quite dramatic. So I basically wanted to preempt it and have it as calm as possible. I mean, the thing is, you can't predict the future. You don't know what your birth is going to be like. No one goes into it and saying, right, my birth plan is I'm going to be at home, I'm going to be in a paddling pool, and it's going to be magical, and there'll be doves released into, like, you don't know what will happen.
No,
you can't guarantee. So this is like the only bit of control that I can get, is that I know when it's booked. You're not gigging.
That's what I managed to get it just right in between gigs.
He said to me, he was like, if you could book it on the 7th of December. And I went, well, we don't know. They give you like a window the week before, so it could be any day. So I'm not sure, actually. And then they called me up and they said, we've booked you in on the 7th. And he was so happy. But how many gigs have you been offered since?
Oh, my God. 20 gigs?
Yeah.
On the same day. Everyone's like, are you free on the 7th?
Are you free on the 7th?
Do you know what, though? The first couple of times, I looked at my diary and I went, yeah, I am actually. I've got nothing going on.
Apart from your son's birthday.
Life-changing experience, number 3.
Yeah.
So is that what it is? And so the trauma of because you panicked.
Panic.
Yeah.
Again. My friend told me, I've got loads of friends that have given birth, and I've heard so many different birth stories. If you're going to give birth, talk to people. Talk to as many people as you can, because every single person's experience is different. Every single person's experiences, can be traumatic. I mean, oh my God, people love a gory story.
Oh God, yeah.
They love it. They're like, well, this happened, and it was like blood, and it was all carnage, and some people put it all on Instagram, which I think's lols.
What, the carnage?
No, they don't sort of share pictures, but they do go into like the gritty details.
Right.
But there was someone that I saw that basically had the most magical experience.
Well, the baby just floated out.
Yeah, she just breathed out.
And then all the butterflies and the birds came in and helped her get dressed.
Yeah, and talk to the animals.
Hey there, Mr. Squirrel.
Yeah.
Grab a mop. I seem to have exploded.
So, I mean, some people do have magical experience. Some people say being pregnant is the most magical thing in the world, and I just love being pregnant. And I hasten to disagree.
Loads of people have said. Al Barry said on and we talked about this, I think, on his episode, when he said he's like, yeah, but you're gonna have you've got this one. Kate's gonna want another one, and he couldn't understand. I was going, I don't think so. I can't speak for her, but I've got a feeling this might be the only one.
No, and also, like, I mean, I'm. It's not that I can't,
No,
I'm only 37, but I'm very aware that you're going to be 52.
Yes,
next month.
I am.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Um,
I don't have it in me.
but I just feel like it's not about you,
No.
babe. But I'm just saying, like my friend Jen, her dad is a lot older and had her when he was your age.
Mm,
And she was talking about it the other day, and she's the same age as me, and she said, she's like, I know it sounds really selfish, but it's hard because, when people talk about losing their grandparents, it's hard for her because her dad's the same age as people's grandparents, and I mean, my parents, my nan was 87 when she passed away, and my parents are similar age to your parents. But I think it's just having an older dad. Like,
yeah.
I know you joke about it and go, oh, well, I'm not going to be around by the time they need anything substantial. Not that you could provide that anyway.
Hey, come on,
Lols.
man.
Like a deposit for a flat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think that, I just think I'd be more aware of the older you get. It's just a bit unfair. Also,
Yeah, true.
I don't know if I could go through this again.
It's
been fun, but I'm looking forward to it being over.
I think this is the thing. It's funny, actually. I saw a video on TikTok. So a guy put it up saying about his dad being older.
Yeah.
And he spent most of his life worrying about his dad passing away because he was older.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want that stress for my kids.
No.
That's the last thing I want. I don't want him panicking, and just it just kept him up at night. He was saying, and I'm like, I don't want that. I was like,
yeah,
which is why I go to the gym, which is why I'm being a bit more healthy and stuff, because I want to show that I am trying my best to stick around.
Yeah, I mean, you might get hit by a bus tomorrow.
It's always a bus. Who are these shit bus drivers that are running around running people over? That thing, you might get hit by a bus tomorrow. Could be anything. Have you ever been knocked over by a bike? That fucking hurts.
No.
Yeah, I've had that.
Have you?
Yeah, it was my fault. I was on the wrong side. There's like pedestrian. It's like pedestrian and cycle lane. I was in the wrong bit, and he came round the corner and then knocked me up in the air, and then. And he was so upset. I thought, no, it was me. I was in the wrong bit.
Well, they do go fast. Yeah, they do hoof themselves along the road.
Someone's going to get killed by those scooters. Do you see the way they hoof it along?
Yeah, they're full on.
But these bus drivers that are driving around,
yeah,
poor
killing
bus
people.
drivers. But I was going back to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
With
age gap. I mean, this goes into our age gap podcast now. Yeah. Sorry, but with Jen was saying, the thing that she sort of feels bad about is because her dad has, she's got half sisters, who are a lot older,
right?
And there's that sort of jealousy that they've had more time with that person, with her dad. And she's best friends with her dad. Yeah, they spend loads of time together. They're very, very close. And, there is that thing of, like, I hope that our little one won't be sad that you've had more time with your other sons.
No.
I mean, I'm a legend, so it's good that I'll be around. We'll be best friends. It doesn't matter.
Well, one of the things that the guy said as well is that he regretted never recording recording his dad, because one of the things they say that when a loved one passes away, one of the first things you forget is what they sound like.
Oh God, their voice.
Yeah,
I feel really sad because I didn't record my nan's voice. I didn't film anything. I just didn't think about it. And I spoke to her on the phone every day. And do you know what's annoying is that I had a voicemail from her. And it was just one of these, like, only me, babe, just phoning to say I love you, or something like that. And it's on an old phone, and I don't know how to get it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't know where it's gone.
Well, the phone's gone.
It's one of those that you put in a drawer when you get a new phone,
It'll be around.
It'll be around.
It'll be around, babe, and then we'll find it for you.
I love you, babe.
I remember my nan's voicemails.
Yeah.
Hello? It's only Nan. Oh, I don't know if this is working.
Oh, so cute.
Bless her.
Maybe you one day.
But the thing is, luckily, because I do this, he'd be bored with my voice.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like we've got so many videos and stuff of us. Me mainly talking about my fanny.
My family.
He doesn't want to hear about my fanny.
He's gonna. Well, that's the thing. He's gonna be this. He's there with my boys. One of the things that they know everything about me, like everything.
There's no holds barred.
No. So he's gonna come out. He's gonna have to. He's gonna be strong mentally to fight with that shit.
Well, I think I'm really excited to see what he looks like because obviously you've been cooking this little sproglet for 9 months and you don't know what they'll look like.
You might not even like him.
I love that he's hoofing me right now.
Is he booting you because he knows
we're talking about him.
So when let's go back right to the beginning of the pregnancy. Do you know before you've done a test? Do you feel pregnant? Like you feel there's a difference? Do you feel like, hang on a minute? Because obviously the chemicals have already started rushing around your body and creating a life.
Well, because I really got into, this sounds weird. I really got into tracking my periods. It sounds really weird.
Now we've gone back to Predator.
Yeah. I got really into blood just before I got pregnant. No, there's an amazing period preacher. That's what she's called. She's a performer and a period preacher. Yeah. Lucy Peach. Her name is. And she's Australian, and she's written an amazing book called Period Queen. Anyone that has periods, I would highly recommend reading this book. It's amazing. And it basically breaks up your cycle into 4 stages. So you have dream, which is your period week. Do, which is when your estrogen and progesterone's rising and you're like, I can do everything. Superhero week. Dream, do, give, where you're all sort of lovely and like ovulating and everything's all happy and you let people out in the...
Is that the best bit when you're ovulating? Is that when so ovulating is when is that the release?
Egg's released, yeah.
Right.
So every month and that's when you're most fertile is
and that's to attract a mate.
Yeah, so you're all sort of
so if you're all calm and nice
and lovely.
Come and put your seed inside my egg.
But you'll notice that there's only 1 week where that happens, and then the rest of the week is carnage. And then the last week is the premenstrual week, which is take. And if you want to sit, she writes in the book, if you want to sit in the bath and eat pizza, you sit in the bath and eat pizza. Like that's what you will do.
And so that's the bit where your body
is about to release everything.
And it goes, well, we didn't get a baby this time, so let's just chuck it all out.
Yeah. And then the next, that's building up to it.
Right.
So the 4th week is when it's building up to it. I mean, it all depends on how long your cycles are. Some people have shorter cycles. Some people have longer cycles. Mine's very on the nose, mine's very normal, as in the sense of regular, yeah. So it's 28 days, and so the 4 weeks does apply. So you have I have my days which I know where I'm falling on. So what's some days where I'm like, why am I just crying and wanting cake? Oh right, now I know where I am in the cycle, and so I can kind of give you a heads up and go, oh, by the way, it's this week. I'm in my take phase.
I like the way that you go. You've said it like, by the way, babe, just so you know, I'm gonna be a bit grumpy. Whereas what actually happens, if you fucking come near me,
I will end you.
I will batter you.
Yeah, in the nicest possible way. So because I was really into just before I got pregnant, I just found it really interesting, and got into period tracking and learning about your cycle and just found it really useful, and basically you can life hack your period. You can work out when the week where you are premenstrual is actually a really good week for being creative.
Is it?
So yeah, you can write stuff, you can sort of hide yourself away, you can actually be really empowered in that week. It's great. And then when it's your period, you know, just look after yourself, do gentle exercise and yoga, and so it all sort of goes around. It's circular. It's every month. So when I knew my period was coming and it was late, I was like, "Hey up!"
Oh no!
That night with too much wine, Richard.
It was a good night.
It was a fun night. It was my friend's birthday.
Certainly was. James. It was James's birthday.
It was just Steph's birthday.
Steph's birthday. That was
in March. And
I just remember talking to James. We've got a mate, James, who loves a chat.
He loves a chat. He's a very talented. He made my wedding ring, which I've had to take off because it didn't fit anymore because my hands are massive. And he's a very talented jeweler and tattoo artist. He's done my tattoos as well.
So
loves a chat.
He does love a chat. So I didn't
feel. So to answer your question,
sorry,
I didn't feel different apart from I knew that I was like, hey up, this is normally the week that I feel like premenstrual. I didn't feel premenstrual.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have the normal like fuck off and die feelings.
Which is the rest of the time.
So I knew something was up, and then I left it a little bit because I didn't want to do a test straight away. And then I remember doing a test and then calling you in and went, what do you want it to say?
I remember. And you go, well, that's obviously...
what do you want? And he went, oh, God, it's a trap. Reverse. Yeah. Beep, beep, beep.
Admiral Akbar myself.
Yeah.
Into a corner.
Like,
it's a trap.
Yeah. If I give the wrong answer here, I'm not going to have a head. So you were like, oh, what do you... I can't remember what you said.
That's not what I sound like. So anyway, what would you like to have? I think we were both like, if it happens, it happens. And we were both kind of up for it.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't... The thing is, I
wasn't up for it so soon.
Well, I genuinely thought, because of my age and stuff, I've never been pregnant. No. I've never sort of had a scare. There's been a few times where I've thought my period was late, but then that was before I was sort of tracking it. And because I've been on and off contraceptives, and that does mess up with your cycle. You've no idea where you are. So I was on, I've taken all sorts of hormonal contraceptives, which really fuck you up.
Yeah.
Please invent a male pill. I mean, I think they have, but they didn't pursue it because it gave men headaches. Poor you. A little headache.
If you invented a pill for men,
they wouldn't take it.
No, they would if you made it football themed.
Yeah.
So men would be taking it left, right, and centre.
If it came with stickers, you mean?
If it came with stickers, yeah. Like you used to get a packets of cards with the gum.
Yeah.
That was a birth control pill. Yeah.
I'll take it now.
Oh, brilliant! I've got a shiny Kenny Dalglish. Pop.
But I don't know if I would trust a man to say, "Oh yeah, no, I'm on the pill." Oh yeah, I'm...
I don't know why men would have it. I don't know why some men have a problem with that. It's like, it doesn't mean you're less of a man, because you're actually more of a man by being proactive.
I think just give everyone a vasectomy.
Fuck that, no.
Everyone should have one, and then as soon as they're ready, they can reverse it.
I have seen too many. I have been told, again, it's like when you talk about being pregnant, people love a gross story.
Yeah. When
you talk about it with men who have had a vasectomy, as again Al Barry talked about on his episode.
Yeah.
They cannot wait. They cannot wait to show you pictures. Al Barry sent me a picture of his nuts.
Oh.
And I have to say, I've said this already, I have never seen that shade of purple and green.
Chestnuts?
Yeah, it was. Like, they were like pistachios, like you didn't take the shell off. And it put me, green and purple. And I'm like, I don't want that. I'd rather wear 20 condoms.
I'll punch you in the nuts.
Or punch me in the nuts. When we got together, And I have said this in other relationships where I've seen that the pill has been an issue. And I'm like, do you know what? You don't have to take that. And we can, there's other ways. We can bag it up, or we can do whatever. I don't.
But then it's not always reliable, you know. But they split, and like, I mean, sort of we get pumped full of hormones and all sorts of things to try and stop having babies, and sometimes the pill doesn't work.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, this is why it's. I mean, we're sort of veering into you know, America's awful decision to make in some states to make abortion illegal. Horrendous.
Oh, God.
And so yeah, well, going back to what I was saying, like, I hadn't had like a scare or anything. I hadn't gone when I was younger, oh my God, I think I'm pregnant. Like, so I'd never been pregnant. So I thought, oh, maybe I'll struggle. Maybe I won't be able.
Yeah.
It won't be that easy for me. Taking into consideration my age, taking into consideration your grand old age. So
my wrinkly old swimmers have been in there a while.
So that's why it was sort of a nice, pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
But it was a nice surprise because I wasn't expecting it to happen first time.
We were lucky in that respect, and we understand.
Lucky.
There's loads of people that we know that can't have children for whatever reason and would want to, and that. So we're not being like, check us out.
No, not at all.
You know, I've got a mate of mine, Tom.
I was really surprised.
Yeah, it took Tom thousands of pounds and many years of heartache and awfulness.
Yeah.
To then have the two beautiful
and
children they got
it's
now.
so rare. Like, it's the chances of you getting pregnant are so high. Like, I mean, it's I've got friends that have gone through years of IVF, and you know, they've had babies now, and you know, all sorts of things that can be wrong with women having babies, ectopic, and you know, obviously miscarriages are heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. You know, dealing with those losses, like, I count ourselves very lucky that we didn't have any problems. Right at the beginning, though, I had awful pain, really, really bad pain, and I'd convinced myself it was all going wrong and it was horrible. But it was all right. It was just, they were like, nope, that's just what happens. That's just,
I think I think your anxiety levels are pretty high anyway.
I'm an anxious
so you
person.
You are a bit chicken licking sometimes, and it's a bit like, what was that? Murderers? Like, no. Just a thing fell off the side.
The slightest thing. I was.
There's someone in the garden. We haven't got a garden.
Well, as soon as I found out that I was pregnant, I was just like on high alert. Like, oh God. But you were, because I was worried.
But then the other side of it is, this has been a very, very stressful time for you. It's been non-stop. Like, there's been, this is the bit where you're supposed to be floating around like an angel, and you're like, I hate this. I feel sick. I don't know which end stuff's coming out at any point. I have to be sat near a toilet or a sink. And then we had, a couple of weeks ago, we had the nosebleeds where it looked like your brain was falling out.
That was fun. So apparently, one of the symptoms of pregnancy, which they don't talk about,
I'd never heard this before,
is you can get, towards the end, you can get really, really bad nosebleeds. Really horrific. And
they go on for an hour and a half.
No, it was 2. It was 2 hours.
I went on for ages, the first one, didn't it?
So I had a nosebleed that was so bad, it looked like Dexter had been in our bathroom. It was horrendous, and to the point that Rich had to heroically take me to A&E, and I was bleeding. I mean, this is quite graphic, but we love a gory story. I was literally had both nostrils going, and I was throwing up, because you look up on the internet of how to stop a nosebleed, and they're all conflicting. Put your head back, don't put your head back, hold the squishy bit, hold the bridge of your nose, get some ice, don't get some ice, so Rich was reading all these out, and I was like, which one? So he was like, I'm just going to take you to hospital. So we jumped in the car. I had loads of kitchen roll. One sheet did not do me plenty, thank you very much.
We had face masks.
Oh God, I stuck a tampon up there.
Oh, that was my favourite bit. That was my favourite bit. When you came out of the bathroom and you shoved a tampon up your nose, and I went, don't they expand? And it went. It was like,
massive.
oh my god! It was like you had a.
It was like
you
slow
you-
motion. It went.
It's like you'd shoved the Warburtons up there.
Oh, it was so funny. I mean, we can laugh about it now, but at the time,
Yeah,
I
it
was.
was pretty
It
horrific.
was pretty horrific, and I was sobbing. And our car journey to Worthing Hospital is about 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and the journey. Literally, we got stuck behind every single slow driver, every roadwork, red light,
Mate,
you name it.
it was mad. Like Truman Show when he was trying to leave.
And it was. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like going slingshotting round roundabouts.
To dodge the traffic.
Yeah.
But that
was horrific. And then Rich had to take his jumper off, ruin that.
Did ruin it.
Had to take and sort of heroically shove it under my nose. And then I got to A&E and I was like, no, I'm 36 weeks pregnant and my nose won't stop bleeding. And they were so lovely.
Yeah, they were.
And
to the staff of Worthing Hospital A&E,
oh my God.
all of them.
All of them.
Everybody.
All the midwives, all the antenatal.
Everybody at Worthing Hospital has been incredible.
Oh,
so big shout to anyone who knows anyone who works there.
Yeah.
Tell them.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, they've been good.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. I've heard nothing but good things about all the staff there. And our experience. So they got us in straight away. And I basically gave me one of those little cardboard bowls because I was throwing up like literally chunks of blood clots. It was like liver. And then it was the same day that I had my scan. So I was watching when I went to the scan because I was still sort of recovering from losing 2 hours worth of blood. Like it just kept, because what happens when you're pregnant is you have 50% more blood going around your body.
Yeah.
Which is bananas. But yeah, so you've got a spare. But I just didn't want to lose it.
Chuck it everywhere.
I didn't want to lose it through my face.
No.
And then, so we were watching the sonogram, weren't we? And you were like, "Oh, look, everything looks fine." And you were doing all the talking, and I was just sitting there going, "Yeah, great." So
I had to quietly ask is the placenta all right? Because that just looks like it seems what was coming out your head.
Oh God, I mean, that would be. Some sort of very weird.
I'm no biologist. I don't know.
I don't know how your placenta could manage to get into your throat like that.
Coming out your nose.
Coming out my nose. And
I don't know. I was just panicking, quietly panicking. So what amazes me though, going back to trying to get to the hospital. Have you noticed, like when you need to be somewhere urgently, or if you're running late? Some prick in a Nissan Micra ends up in front of you. Yeah. Every single time.
Fiat 500.
It's like they know. It's like they know. Oh, I mean, it might be that because you're rushing and you've got past everybody else, you're going to catch up to a Nissan Micra driver because they drive like absolute wankers. It's like they're peddling the fucking thing.
They got their feet out the bottom.
Yeah.
Like
how do you know I've got to be somewhere? Maybe it's like Mr. Bean, where it's the same. It's probably the same Nissan Micra, like the blue freewheeler.
I think, yeah. I mean, that was comical though. Like when we were trying to get to the hospital, and then I was like, "Have you got any more kitchen roll?" Because I asked Rich to like bring the whole roll, and then he was panicking, so didn't. And so I'd gone through this like wad, and then that's why you had to take your jumper off. But it was literally carnage. See, that's why I want a very calm birth.
Yeah.
Because just that nosebleed and being rushed in and that feeling of panic I just don't want to have that.
Yeah.
For the birth.
But on a
tomorrow.
But on a more positive note.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, comedians, like when you're in green rooms and we talk about gigs, we don't want to talk about the good ones.
You don't talk about the good ones.
Talk about the ones where you died on your ass.
Yeah, and you don't talk about how lovely everyone is.
No.
You want to talk about the wankers.
Talk about the wankers. But there has been some nice times.
Oh yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, and it's been fun watching him grow.
Yeah.
And then finding out his sex.
Yeah.
His gender and everything else, and I feel, I guess because I'm older, so I'm a bit more calm. Mm-hmm. That, being able to ask more questions and go, oh, what does that feel like then?
Yeah.
But actually, going back to what I said hours ago, what does it feel like when you've got someone in you moving around?
Yeah, it's full up. Full up. I mean, you'll get like being. It's hard to describe. Being poked from the inside
Yeah.
out is a very weird feeling. But you know that feeling when you had a really dodgy curry, and you go, huh?
Oh, that's coming out.
Sometimes it's a bit like that. You've got there's so many symptoms. I mean, I was really, really, really lucky in the fact that I didn't. There's something called hypermesis gravidarum. Oh, I've got that the wrong way around. Yeah, I think so. Look it up. Anyway, where pregnant people can literally have the most chronic morning sickness,
Right.
and the comedian Amy Schumer had it, and you're hospitalized. Like
Wow.
it's you because you can't even keep water down.
Oh my God.
And you're so ill,
Yeah.
and you have it for the whole pregnancy. It's not just the first, because normally morning sickness is the first 3 months.
Okay.
3
months?
3 months.
I thought it was only a couple of weeks.
Classic man. So yeah, it's
What's a fuss? What's
so
a
the
fuss?
first 3 months is your first trimester,
Right.
so that's when you get morning sickness, and then your second trimester is when you get this energy boost. I'm still waiting for mine. And then the third trimester is you're just massive and tired, like, or really fat.
That's the name of your sex tape.
Yeah. Really fat and sad. And so your first 3 months, but I was really lucky. I just felt like I'd got off a roller coaster, so I didn't actually feel sick.
No.
Sorry, I felt sick, but I wasn't
right.
actually sick. But some people get really bad sickness and they're really ill. But so I was, I didn't have that.
No.
But what was the question?
As bad as I am. People listen to you going, what does it feel like?
What does it feel like? So,
because when they say, when you say, oh, he's kicking, it's not like kicking. It just feels like someone's pushing.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I get like when your leg twitches and you looking at, or your eye twitches and you're not controlling it, and you're like, oh, that's mental, and it feels really weird.
Yeah.
It's like that, but a massive twitch inside your stomach.
Didn't Zara?
And it feels quite tight
as
well. Yeah, I mean, especially now. But yeah, I'm lucky that I don't feel anymore. But didn't Zara what?
Didn't you say that just before she gave birth, the baby, she could feel that it had hiccups?
Oh yeah. So right at the end of my friend who was due tomorrow. Yeah.
Mad that they were sat on this very sofa a week ago.
Yeah.
And they were talking about the pregnancy, and
because I said, how good would it
sorry.
How good would it be if I'm in for my C-section and then she comes in and has her baby and we're in hospital at the same time? Wouldn't that be magical? And then, so baby turned up a wee bit early, and it's mad. They came round for a coffee, and her partner Matt, and was sitting here, and she said, "Oh, it just feels really weird because baby had hiccups." And I was like, it's so, like, because it's not you.
She felt it on her lady parts.
I'm so glad she's going to be like, that's very personal. And you're
no,
just
I said lady parts.
Lady parts.
That could be anywhere.
Well, yeah, because they're upside down.
Who
is? The baby is upside down.
Oh, right. So
like,
ready to go.
His head is down here.
Oh. And breech is when it's
the other way. So when his feet are fanny down.
Oh my God.
That's breech.
They can't just grab their ankles.
No, it's not. It's not a cow.
I don't remember Bailey. I vaguely remember Bailey being born because there was a lot of back and forth. Oh, yeah. Suddenly it was like we could all be in there. So it was Lisa and her mum and me. And then suddenly it was like, no, everybody out.
Oh, what? It was something
was going on. And then Lisa's mum was in there. And then Lisa said, no, I want Rich in here. So then we swapped. So there was all that back and forth. But I do remember Keanu. I remember Keanu coming out.
Didn't he have his umbilical cord?
Yeah, and they had to kind of whip him away, and they undid it really quickly. And then put him under this oven. thing.
Yeah, cook him a bit.
Cook him a bit.
It's like a UV lamp sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I can't believe that's like 31 years ago.
Yeah.
So much has changed since then.
Yeah.
Like, just trying to find a 24-hour shop back then. Because you had, because you don't.
What did you do?
You had to find a garage somewhere. And I didn't drive at the time. I couldn't drive.
Oh, wow.
So I had to
walk to the nearest
I think I
garage.
cycled. I had a bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I used to cycle to Longfield from Gravesend where I used to work. And so I had this mountain bike that Lisa's dad had lent me. And I was trying to ride around trying to find I can't remember what I was trying to find. Milk?
It'll be something.
It was something
in the middle of, get me a Kit Kat now.
But that's something different. That's something different. Yeah, it was like Chewits or something at 3 o'clock in the morning. But there's this now, I guess because you're older and you understand the value of being organised.
Thanks, Kate McGann, for
that. We're already like, actually, look, we've got everything we need.
Yeah, he's got more clothes than us.
But there's stuff like, like formula is pre-mixed.
Yeah.
Never had that.
No, you're not weighing anything out.
No, it was like silos full of powder we used to have. And he'd always forget to do the bottles.
Formula.
Yeah.
Pig feet.
No, yeah. And
that's why Keanu's so strapping.
Yeah.
And you giving him.
He never breastfed, just fed him in a trough.
Yeah. But
so
it must be. I mean, it must be weird. I mean, pretty much the birthing's going to be the same. It's still the same. You still have epidurals, you still can have forceps births, you still have 1-2s. Like, it's still pretty much the same, but it's just going to be a little bit. Now you can sit next to me and play on your phone.
That's what I remember when Lisa went into labour and we were sitting playing trumps. Like the top trumps.
Oh, really?
We got obsessed with trumps. So we had loads of packets of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. See? Analog days.
Oh my
God.
Hey, we've got a pack of Uno somewhere.
Uno.
We can play that.
We should play Frustration.
Yeah. Oh God, that would drive everyone mad. Can you imagine on the ward? We're just gonna get a board game out. Fuck off.
Oh mate. Have you so now?
So it feels weird.
Feels weird. How long have we been doing this for now? Is it 45 minutes?
Feels weird. I can't wait for him to be out.
Yeah, we're ready to go now. Done.
It's going to be weird because I've been pregnant for most of the year.
Yeah.
And, I mean, January and February were great. I don't remember them because I was pissed.
Yeah, it was a good time. But the thing is, this January and February, you'll be pissed as well because you can.
Yeah, lads.
Because you're not we're not breastfeeding all the time.
And I just want to do a massive shout out to my friend Frankie, who on Christmas Day is being the hostess with the mostest, and she's invited Zara, who's got a new baby, and moi with the new baby, and you. Oh yeah, and the partners and stuff. And she's basically hosting massive Christmas lunch for us all.
Cheers.
Because she's like, no, you don't do anything. You're going to have 2 newborns.
I don't think you realise how incapacitated you're actually going to be, because you're
having major abdominal surgery.
Yeah, they're basically sawing you in half.
Yeah,
and then I think you're going to be out of action for quite a while.
I mean, it's 6 to 8 weeks recovery. Like I know what it's like having major surgery because of my appendix and stuff, and I know other people can have appendicitis and then they just have keyhole surgery. Like my dad was like, yeah, it's no big deal. You just get it hooked out. But I had a big old operation. I know what it's going to feel like. I know it's, but what's funny is that I had a friend of mine said, aren't you weirded out that they're going to take all of your stuff and like put it next to you, like you're hung, drawn and quartered? And I went, that's not how it works.
Then they said they put it out next to you on a tray.
Yeah. And I went, that's not how it works. I mean, unless she was talking about the placenta, but like you don't take out your like organs, like that's
Hang on
heart,
to this.
Yeah, just or like sausages, like
so much.
Yeah, or my intestines and stuff. No, it's like it's a sack, and they just grab baby. And
I do remember that when the baby came out,
Yeah.
And then they went, all right, and now the placenta.
Yeah.
And you had to push
You
again.
have to birth it. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. And I was like, what?
Did you not know?
No, of course I didn't. I was 19.
Oh, bless
I was
you.
20 by I was 20 by then.
A small child.
And it came, I remember it coming out.
It's like a massive lump of steak.
Yeah, like a big kidney.
Ugh.
A bit of liver.
Some people keep them.
For what?
Decorative purposes? I don't know. No, so
put
some
it in
people,
resin.
Yeah, they can, like, if you do like a potato print of it, it looks like the tree of life. I'm not going to keep it.
To say you're a vegetarian, you can't even eat it.
No. I mean, there are no scientific benefits to eating your placenta.
No.
So,
it's like drinking your own pee.
Yeah. I won't be eating it.
No.
We don't need a pate to go with our Christmas lunch at Frankie's.
It's organic.
I don't plan on keeping mine. I would like to have a look at it though.
I'll show you.
Because, well, you won't be holding it. Just because you'll be in scrubs, it doesn't mean that you can have a go. It's not operation. See if my nose lights up.
I'm going to say nurse scalpel.
No.
I have to. I'll go in scrubs.
No. I know you're already planning your Instagram story.
My Dr. Cox speech.
Yeah.
Oh, new one. So, you're ready to go. Cot locked, ready to go. He's in good shape. We've had the scans. We've got food so that you can eat, just in case there isn't any ever.
Food. Well, because you have to fast from the night before.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm hoping, because you go in at 7 a.m. So I'm hoping that it'll be fairly early, because I don't want to be waiting all day. And then you'll be sat there with a sandwich. I'll be like, I can't eat anything.
No point in both starving.
No.
I need to keep my energy up for when I'm giving birth.
When you're catching the placenta.
Yeah. So
rifling around.
It's in here somewhere.
Under bits.
In your underparts.
But no.
When it comes out, they open it up like a sleeping bag, don't they? Then it slides out. Like fax him out.
I mean, it's still a small hole. It's still a birth.
Oh, I thought it was the entire length of your body.
It's like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they opened you up and like just flopped it back.
No, mate. God.
So there's just a little hole.
Yeah, it's like 10 centimeters.
Oh, you'll be fine then.
Oh, for God's sake.
I genuinely thought they opened you up like properly. Like
in half?
Yeah, like a packet of crisps. And then like when you got the ones with the salt in the sachet.
Yeah, shake me up.
Yeah, I thought
Don't put salt in me.
I thought it was the whole length.
No, it's 10 centimeters. So
really?
Yeah, it's smaller than the scar I've already got.
Oh.
What are you worried about there, babe?
Yeah, piece of piss.
And it's right down on me nethers.
Is it?
Yeah, it's that little fold underneath my gun.
I honestly thought it was like they were going under the bonnet of a Cortina.
Oh my God. This is why. How many? Oh my God.
But no one's told me.
I've done so many classes and read so many books, and I've got so many apps. And
I haven't looked.
You haven't looked.
No, I've been busy.
You've been busy. But no, as long as I know what's happening to me, that's the main thing.
I didn't know it was that.
Yeah, it's like a tiny little, because you basically, instead of coming out the fan noir,
yeah,
like the main chute, it's just ever so slightly higher, and it's someone helping, baby, but and coming out, so you're still birthing. It's still the same direction.
But you don't have to push.
You don't have to push. Apparently, this is gross. It feels...
This whole thing's been gross. I do apologise to anyone listening who's squeamish. Should have done this at the beginning.
Yeah, we should have done a trigger warning.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So apparently it feels like, because you have an epidural, so you can't feel anything, which is like a spinal tap. So
great film.
Great films. 10 up to 11. So because of that, it feels like someone's doing washing up in your tummy. Yeah. That's how they describe it.
Really?
So you can't, you're not in pain, but you can feel tugging and movement.
What?
Yeah, mad. So yeah, so baby comes out, and then my midwife said the funniest thing. She said, what's funny is sometimes babies born by C-section come out And rather than sort of screaming and crying like, you know, a baby would that's gone through the birth and it's been hours of pushing and tugging and pushing and all that sort of malarkey, because it's quite sudden. It's like you from the moment you get in there to the moment the baby comes out, it's about 5 minutes.
Right.
It's so quick. It's just the sewing up and everything that takes a long time.
And then the baby's just
the baby comes
like,
out and goes, "What?
What the fuck is this?
What's going on? What was I just doing?
I was watching a film.
Hang on, who are you?
The fuck is this place? Yeah, I'd be the same.
I'd be like, what?
Imagine if you were like, imagine whatever your happy place is, your comfortable place. Like you're in bed, you just sometimes
Cocooned.
the bed's just warm. It's just the right temperature. The room's the right temperature. Everything's just nice. You've got a couple of quid in the bank. Everything's just you've done your emails. You've just you know what? This is a nice moment. This is all right.
And then the big hand
comes and like, just
yanks you out.
Fuck.
What was I just doing? I've dropped my fag. Hang on a minute. Who are you?
Imagine.
So yeah, that's basically it. It's exciting. Yes. I'm very nervous, but you know, because you know, by the end of the week, I'm going to be a mom.
You'll be a mom.
Yeah, dance mom.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to be like one of them, are you?
Yeah. No.
That's all right. I'll see the kid at weekends.
Yeah. So, yeah, to answer your question, it feels weird.
Well, this has been fun. I've enjoyed this. It's been a great chat.
Sorry if it's disgusting.
And to anyone
and we love
listening,
you.
We do understand, you know, that a lot of people go through all manner of trauma. Absolutely. Trying to get pregnant or get pregnant, and horrible things happen. So we do understand. I know it's horrible. For the benefit of the podcast, we've been a bit flippant about it, but we do give a shit. We are aware.
Yeah.
And sorry to anyone that's gone through anything. It's been awful.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. We do know people that actually have it. It's not the one.
No.
But so this has been Insane in the Membrane / mashup. Never mind the age gap. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for watching us. Tell your friends about the podcasts that we have.
Yes. And
thank you to all our lovely patrons for helping us still keep the lights on. We do appreciate your work. I'll be dropping a little message to all on the Patreon. So stay tuned for that. And anything else you'd like to add, Kate McGann?
No. Well, next time you'll see us, we'll have another little man in the house.
Well, another little man. He's taller than his dad.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. This has been Insane in the Membrane. I've been Rich Wilson. This has been Kate McGann. We'll see you next time.